Autumn had come to the island of Sodor, and with it came the crows. Although none of the engines on Thomas's branch line took much notice, Terence the tractor found them most bothersome. "All those rotten crows keep eating our seeds," he told Thomas one morning. "Master says it slowed our harvest to a halt. He said he'd get a scarecrow to stop them, though." "The sooner the better," muttered Thomas, as a pair of crows perched atop his dome, cawing at intervals. That afternoon, Farmer Vinny had managed to find a scarecrow, tie it to a pole, and put it up in his field. "Well, Terence," he asked, "what do you think?" "Looks rather shabby," admitted Terence. Indeed, the scarecrow did look rather shabby. Straw was leaking everywhere, and its clothes were tattered. "Well, it'll have to do for now," said Farmer Vinny, and he and Terence returned to their work. As Terence went about plowing his field, he couldn't help shake the feeling that he was being watched. The scarecrow did its job well, and no crows ate any of Farmer Vinny's seeds. But Farmer Vinny had another problem on his hands. "Where's all my straw gone?" he asked. Neither Terence nor the farm hands had an answer. Then one of the farm hands pointed to the field. "Look," he said, "doesn't the scarecrow look bigger to you?" Indeed it did. The once flimsy scarecrow was now towering over the field, its body filled with straw. It looked rather menacing, and for a moment Terence thought it was glaring right at him. Over the next few days, more straw went missing, as well as some produce. "We've lost nearly a whole crate's worth of produce so far," Terence told Toby one afternoon. "And what's more unusual, every time something goes missing, that scarecrow seems to get larger." Toby laughed. "Perhaps he's eating it all himself." Of course, Toby only meant this in jest, but Terence became frightened. If the scarecrow was eating everything, what would he eat next? His thoughts were interrupted by a cry from Farmer Vinny. "Why's the scarecrow got a pitchfork?" Terence couldn't concentrate. First straw, then produce, and now with a pitchfork in hand. What was that scarecrow going after next? The farm hands were worried too. None of them wanted to go near the scarecrow. Even Farmer Vinny was hesitant to take it down. So it stayed in its spot, its haunting presence growing with every vegetable that went missing. One night, Terence's driver backed him into his shed. He was in a hurry and forgot to lock the door. No sooner had the driver left than a gust of wind blew the shed door wide open. Terence woke with a start. "Hello?" he called weakly. He looked around, but no one was there. The howling wind made everything much more unsettling than usual, and Terence was beginning to feel very nervous. Then Terence saw a glimpse of movement in the distance. When he looked over, he went pale. The Scarecrow was no longer on its post. It was on its feet, walking about the field, pitchfork in hand. Terence wanted to call for help, but his throat went dry and he couldn't speak. Suddenly, the Scarecrow turned to face Terence and began hobbling over towards him. Terence went cold. He wanted to race away, but he couldn't without his driver. The wind grew louder and the Scarecrow came closer. Every footstep sent echoes around the farm. He began to raise his pitchfork, laughing in the most maniacal fashion. Terence shut his eyes and waited for the end. "What are you kids doing with my Scarecrow?" Terence opened his eyes. The Scarecrow had fallen to the ground, and there was Farmer Vinny, pointing his flashlight on a pair of schoolboys. The next day, the schoolboys were apprehended by the police. "It seems those boys were the ones who stole all your goods," explained the chief. "They stuffed the straw in the Scarecrow as a distraction, then made off with the produce, and then gave it that pitchfork to make it walk around the field," finished Terence. "Well," said Farmer Vinny, who had just finished remounting the Scarecrow, "let's just hope the crows are the only ones who'll be scared now." Everyone laughed, even the Scarecrow.